most people learn that if they don't get what they want, it's dangerous in some sort of way. So even if you can change that verbiage for them, and when they get positional or want their way, if you can get them to rephrase the words they're using into something that's more effective. And one of the things that I do also is help them or ask them to define their words, because what I want and why I use those words are different than someone else using those words. And we may all be talking about the same thing if we be more specific about our words, not thinking through how they are being perceived, and that everyone understands apple the way I understand apple. And I think those are a very subtle way to get past positions and controlling behavior. I think of words as positional as being I have to have, I want, I need, you can't, I can't. And I think that it comes along with empowering them some, because I think there's fear related to position. I certainly know when I'm positional, I get that way because I don't see any other way to do it. It has to be this way, because if it's not, something bad will happen. So I think it's incumbent upon the team, or whatever professional they're working with at the time, to assure them that there are options that they'll be different, but they won't be frightening. You know, one of the things I use with private clients a lot, and this works in the collaborative as well, is tell me how you're scaring yourself from that. If you're in this position, how do you scare yourself? I have to have this house. Well, tell me what the fear is behind that. Well, I'll lose my status. I'll lose my safety, security, those sort of things. Well, how else can you accomplish those? But when somebody gets positional, the defense flies up and we never get past that. It happens so quickly. So basically you have two scared people trying to accomplish something in a way that's going to be very unproductive, as we know, but I'm guilty of doing it myself too. I'm in a case right now where they have become very positional, and that is to pay child support or not to pay child support. They're both very good people. He's very much wants, if he makes a commitment, he is going to make sure he makes that commitment. I don't think he doesn't want to support his children. I think he's very concerned that if he makes a commitment and he's not able to provide, then he's failed. And so his position is, I won't make a commitment. So it's been my challenge to communicate with him about what are you willing to commit to, so that you can help support your child. But it even goes a little bit further than that, of giving him and teaching him he can make changes. The best information we get starts changing immediately. So if I can work with him to be more comfortable knowing that his income's going to change, her income's going to change, children's needs are going to change, and he can help and accommodate all of that without making X, he's going to be more willing to negotiate. And I think that takes a lot of concentration on the words people are saying. So if you talk to them about your position is no child support, talk to me about what got you to that decision. And then it starts opening up for throwing out more options, looking at your goals and interests. So when you get into tunnel vision or you get into a position, you have to start looking at what is on the outside of that and making it safe for the clients to look on the outside of that. That if they leave this position, or if they leave the tunnel vision, what does that mean for them? Because I can pretty much promise it means something frightening to them. So helping them move from that position or that vision, if it has to be a certain way, into there's lots of ways to reach emotional, financial safety. I was on a case with a very young couple. We did it collaboratively, and her attorney asked me if I could come up with a playbook, communication playbook, so that when she was on the phone talking to him, she would have something sitting in front of her that she could use as sentence starters, something to give her some help to focus while they were talking outside of the team meetings. And I said, of course, I'd come up with something. And I would write down sentence starters for her. When he, you say. And so I started just playing with that and got really excited about it, and I made a communication playbook. And this has in it the way to approach difficult communication or discussions. And it talks about preparing when no one's listening, if someone's stepping over the line. And it gives reasons kind of why we do it and the benefits of it, of changing that. And I'll ask at the end, what are the consequences if you continue with the old behavior, with some sentence starters. One I like is proceeding without fear and drama. And then at the back it has, how do you know if your discussion was productive? It's really been helpful for my clients. I believe that creating awareness creates change, and if you're not aware of how you're doing something, you really can't change it. For example, envision how the discussion might go and think through it before you start. That may seem obvious, but for a lot of people they've not thought of doing that before. So set an agenda, set a time limit, go to a neutral place to have your discussion. Give yourself permission to stop someone from interrupting you. Can you hold off just a minute? I want to finish what I was saying. Or what you have to say is very important and I want to hear it. So let me finish and then I want to listen to you. Just different things like that. People go through life just reacting. You say something, I react. I say something, you react. You do something, I react. We seldom just stop and go, how do I want to respond to that? What's the best way for me to respond to that? What would be my best contribution to what I just saw or heard? Instead, we just boom, 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 and wonder why we feel like other people control us. Where a moment to just ask yourself, what's the best way for me to respond? You may do the very same thing. You may do the very same thing, and I promise you'll feel a little more in control of your own life every time you do. Because it gives you a moment to have a little better way of managing yourself. Not controlling, because that takes on a whole different connotation, but a different way to manage your words, your thoughts, how you want to be perceived. You can go on my webpage, bmjames.com, and order one through there.